Prime Minister, the foreign correspondents here received a, excuse me, fair amount of criticism for our coverage of the violence last April, May. I think we're curious, what's your assessment of the international coverage of the conflict?
It's not my job really to
throw us a bone, maybe?
You know, I think there's been, it wouldn't be fair to group you all together. Since you laugh, you already get my answer.
And I'm again asking a question that relates to something that may be already in the past, but still for us, the Russian media, it is still very much an active thing. Foreign Minister Kasit Pirom said during the debate that the Viktor Bout story for Thailand and Russia is already in the past. So my question is, it is not in the past for Viktor Bout, and it is not in the past for us Russian journalists so far, right? The question is, lawyers of Viktor Bout here in Thailand and in America say that on the day of his departure, on the 16th of November, there was no court order to release him from jail. There was no warrant from the court to take him out of the prison and give him to the American representatives who went to pick him up. And there was no document from the Interior Ministry. I have a bit of a confirmation of that because I have the documents that Victor undersigned on the day of his departure, and they only relate to his belongings being released from jail into his hands, right? What I want to ask, on whose authority was actually the extradition conducted? How did it happen? Whose authority was behind releasing him from jail, delivering him to the Americans, and taking him out of the country without his passport, even because the passport was at the Russian embassy at that moment?
Well, I'm not aware of all the details, but I do know that we have made sure that the legal proceedings have run its course. And that was why you will remember that when the US actually sent a plane here and wanted to take Viktor Bout to the US, we said that they had to wait until all the proceedings had been complete. In fact, I even mentioned that they wouldn't have to pay us fees for keeping the plane here, and they decided to take it back. So we allowed the whole proceedings to go through, and when the appeals court and the relevant court has made the decisions on both cases, which were at the time pending, and the cases were complete, the cabinet was notified, and we complied with the law and our commitments.
Sir, but was there a cabinet decision on transferring Victor from jail?
No, we were notified. We were notified.
By, I'm sorry, by which authority?
By the Justice and by the Attorney General.
Thank you, sir.
And as you probably expected, I have a question about Burma. To give you your due, you're one of two leaders in ASEAN that's actually spoken directly to Aung San Suu Kyi. A year ago at this very meeting, you told me that the only way you'd accept the new Burmese government is if the elections were free and fair. That didn't happen. That the opposition was allowed to run, that they weren't harassed. That didn't happen. Why haven't you blown the whistle on the new civilian government? Why has Thailand more or less sympathetically accepted the reality that these forced elections have produced a sham government? In the future, in the next 12 months, what can Thailand do, and more particularly, what can ASEAN do to try and improve the situation for the Burmese people, to see some kind of human rights, to see some kind of democracy? Thank you.
Well, first of all, even before the elections, it was very clear that the expectations of the international community would never be met. And that was when I think a number of leaders Asian leaders, European leaders. I was there at the Asia-Europe leaders meeting in Brussels. Talked about what kind of approach was needed. And Thailand, as with our ASEAN friends, we were clear that if that was a given, what is the best thing to do post-election? And I think that the fact that we've had leaders in ASEAN now talking to Aung San Suu Kyi and looking at the possibilities of further developments within the political system of Myanmar, we continue to have to approach the problem through engagement still. And I think that even the European and other countries also begin to see that without engagement, you wouldn't actually expect much more progress. And in my own conversation with Aung San Suu Kyi and with Kasit, also talking to her subsequently, I think we should look for ways in which Myanmar can somehow achieve reconciliation and progress politically. It's not going to be quick. It's going to take some time. But I think the message that the international community sends to Myanmar has been clear. And you don't achieve everything, but there has clearly been some change and some progress. Otherwise, she wouldn't be released.
Engagement may be the most important way forward, but what has engagement really produced? Because I don't think Aung San Suu Kyi's release is actually evidence of that. Her term under house arrest had come to an end.
You have to work against counterfactuals. Suppose there were no engagement at all. I'm quite confident that the situation would be considerably worse.
Much of the vitriol in the last year has been directed at you personally, and in fact, on trips up north, people have told me that if you even dared to visit, you would be shot and killed, and they weren't joking. How do you govern a country when you can't visit the north? What is it about you, and how do you fix it?
Well, first of all, I have been to the north several occasions, even the northeast, and I don't know how many people have that intention, but it also confirms and suggests that they are the ones that want to engage in violence. Now, I can understand that they have been fed a lot of information or misinformation that has whipped up sentiments against me personally. But, you know, I'm a democratic politician. I've been one for 20 years. I'm here as an MP. I'm here to serve my people with the mandate of people who've elected me. And I do my job.
You could have resigned and handed over to someone else, and you haven't done that.
I could have.
Among our personal friends here.
I have the responsibility to the people who have elected me.
Well, so what personal qualities are there in you that should make Thai people vote to retain you as Prime Minister? Not the government, you.
I'm sorry?
What is it about you that means that you should stay on as the leader of Thailand? Not your government, you, because people are looking to you for leadership.
I'm the head of the one of the two largest parties.
I'm asking about your qualities, what you bring, what leadership qualities you bring. How are you going to convince the people?
I can say this to you.
Please.
In 2007, about over 12 million people certainly saw something in me to give me their vote. This time around, I'm absolutely confident that more than 12 million people, more than 12 million Thais will do the same. You can ask any one of them out of those more than 12 million.
Okay, thank you very much, and I just want to thank the Prime Minister once again. You're always welcome here. I don't know if you want to come back after the questions, but, you know, you're always welcome to take abuse every year. And we have a gift for you before we leave.